Welcome everybody to the HolloTalk podcast. This is Jetpack Nick, and I'm here with a very, 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 very special guest. My guy, one of my former teachers in high school, my favorite teacher probably of all time, but y'all didn't hear it from me. Mike Gardner, say what's up to the people.
Hey, what's up, people? It's just great being on here. I'm glad to be here with Nick. As we experienced, he said I was his favorite teacher. I don't know if it started off that way.
No, it did.
It ended that way. So
it definitely did start off that way. That's generally how great friendships, great relationships start. Most of the times you bump heads in the beginning, but then it turns out to be the best experience you've ever had. So I can definitely attest to that for sure. All right, but for the people who don't know who you are, can you let them know who you are, what you're about, and what you do?
Yeah, so my name is Mike Gardner. I've been a teacher in the Philadelphia School District for about 20 years now. I think next year is my 20th year. I grew up in California. I moved out here in 2000. I grew up in the country in California, but then smack dab in North Philly when I moved out here. And it was definitely a culture shock for me, but a great experience, a great learning experience, what it was like to live in, different neighborhoods and be around, definitely live, in Philly was pretty awesome. But basketball court's always been my home. If there's a basketball court nearby, then I'm there. And that's what I love to do. So.
Okay. All right. So can we just address this infamous story, this story, and I'm putting that in quotations for people who can't see it, that you supposedly had beat me in a game of basketball. Like, can we please discuss this story? Because this never happened, and we need to address this right now.
Well, I think you guys all need to know that, Jetpack Nick, I don't know if his basketball skills have improved, but when we were in high school, it wasn't just one time. It was like 4 times. And like what the story really is, and I'll just put it plain and simple, is Jetpack had a hard time scoring on his teacher. I think I'm 4-0, and like you might have scored 4 points in those games. So
this is total blasphemy. This is false to the highest degree. I have never lost to this man in a game of 1-on-1, a game of 5-on-5, 3-on-3, whatever. I've never lost.
We have people from your class. I think we have people from your class that can attest to I beat you. Not only did I just beat you, Nick. This is the whole. Is that like you really didn't score?
There is no tape of this encounter ever happening. There's no tape of this.
There's no tape, but it's good for you that there is no tape. That's what I will say.
You've never beat me in a game of basketball. I'm sticking by this forever. Until there is tape that shows you winning a game of basketball against me, Jetpack Nick, I will forever deny that you won a game.
We'll go into it like this. We'll talk about another issues too. Is that like I beat you like Jordan is ahead of Kobe.
See now, okay. So before we even get into that, I need to give people background information on the war stories that I have for this. I've argued with this man for 3 consecutive years, every day, all day, during lunch periods, during other classes, during graduation, whatever. I've argued with this man about Kobe Bryant being the best basketball player to ever lace up a pair of shoes, dribble a basketball, step on a basketball court, and he keep telling me about old man Jordan being better than Kobe Bryant. Jordan's number 2, by the way.
Because Jordan is better.
He's not.
His numbers prove it.
Oh my God.
And they're both winners, but like, Jordan better.
Like I tried to be very diplomatic when we started this episode. I really did. I tried to give you a cool introduction. I tried to make you shine like the superstar that you are. And here you go, just going back to these old wars that you cannot win.
But you started it talking lies. I know your fans want to hear you tell the truth, but your fans also need to hear the truth. And the truth is you've never beaten me. you've had a hard time scoring against me, and that Jordan is better than Kobe.
Okay, I'm going to address every one of these points. Okay, so first things first. Like I said, I've never lost to you in a game of one-on-one. There's no footage of you beating me. But just safe to say, there's plenty of basketball courts in this world. I'm pretty sure we can find one and go one-on-one and make this a little special HolloTalk exclusive.
Let's do it.
We could do that. I think the ladies and gentlemen of the HolloTalk podcast community would love to see that. All right.
Yeah, I'm 10 years older. I'm 10 years older with a bad knee. Like, you're still in your prime. I'll still destroy you.
Listen, I got too much respect for you. The trash talk, the way that I would on the court. You stand no chance of beating me in a game of one. You know what? I ain't even about to do it. Just know we gonna set up a game of one-on-one, and we actually gonna have cameras to witness this 11 straight I'm about to put up on you.
Okay, I got it.
All right. I heard it was, I'm standing by that. 11. Yeah. I ain't gonna say 11 to nothing, because that's too strong. I say 11 to 4. Like I give you 4. Like 2 lucky bank shots. I might get tired. One defensive possession might get you a little layup or something like that. You know, yeah, I don't know.
Why are you referring to what you did to me, or what I did to you? I should say.
It's gonna be 11 to 4. That's my take on the 11 to 4. We're gonna see how it turns out. But I for sure know I'm not losing. That's not happening. I'm not losing to you. Yeah. It just ain't happening.
I don't even think that will be the score. I don't think you can 4 points on me. I don't. We're gonna have cameras to prove it too.
Okay. You know, let's reel this back in just a little bit, because I'm a professional. I am good at what I do. But I just had to let the people know, for the people who don't know this rivalry we have, that you know, you can't see me.
It's real.
It's only one thing we agree on. It's only one thing we will ever agree on, and that's Barry Bonds is the best baseball player of all time. That's it. That's
we
everything
definitely
else.
Agree on that.
We beefing on, but
let's definitely agree on
that. Let's reel it back in, and I want to talk more about just my experience with you as my teacher and all that it's meant to me, and for you yourself being the teacher, how much it's meant to you to have this kind of relationship and friendship with a former student of yours up until this very day. So the floor is yours. I am going to let you speak before I share my sentiments.
So I know, and I'll let everybody know, that first year that I taught you was not a great year. You know, and like, you didn't do your work. You sat in the back of the room and like played around. You was probably looking at Kobe stats or Kobe highlights all the time or something, you know, whatever, doing that. And it was really frustrating. There was no way in heck that like I would have a cool relationship with this student, because he was just pretty much an idiot in class. And that, what turned it, I can't say. It must have been a conversation. We started talking trash and like kind of going back and forth, but then everything kind of turned, and you became so much of a better student, somebody who, you know, I saw grow and, you know, become into a young man, and, you know, like after that, and see that and really take on some like ownership within your academic and education. At least in my class, I think you were better in all your classes, you know. You did. You grew as an individual, and then like just us having still the relationship we have now, like the, you know, every once in a while there's a text back and forth, and you've always been a guy who's open, and you know, it's got an open ear, and you know, and a caring heart and all of that. And like, I've appreciated you as not only just a former student, but as an individual and a friend too. So I thank you for that.
No, listen, you trying to make me cry on camera, man. Chill up. No, but those are all things that I cherish hearing from people. Like, you know, not to like, you know, be braggadocious or anything like that, but a lot of people share these same sentiments. Like when I've had former college professors come on the podcast, and you know, we would talk about, you know, similar experiences, and they would say similar things. So for multiple people, not just like at like on my peer level, but like, you know, teachers and professors and grown adults to also say that that same thing. That means a whole lot to me, and for me to y'all or you specifically, like, those experiences meant a lot to me, not just in my growth and development as a student and as a young adult, but just how I go about interacting with different people as I have different experiences or experience different people. So for that, I'm indebted to y'all, and I thank y'all 110% for that. Thank you, man. And see, one of the crazy things too is like when I bring people on the podcast and we have these types of conversations, like these are normally conversations that I would just have directly to the person that I'm talking to on the podcast. But I do enjoy opening these conversations for people to see that all the things that I be talking about or those experiences are actually true experiences. Like you can have this kind of friendship or relationship with a teacher or a professor or anybody for that matter, right? Generally, like when we was in school, we always had like a bad relationship with teachers. Like, oh my God, I gotta go to this person class, or oh my God, like whatever the case may be, right? But for me, in my experience, and almost every level of schooling, I've always had a good rapport with teachers and professors. Like I wasn't the one that was bringing you an apple every day, but I just being able to have conversations with you all and for y'all to be open enough to also reciprocate those conversations and be open to talking to me. And it didn't always have to be about schooling or whatever. Like I would have general life questions, like because y'all was in the same position that we were in at a point. You was a high school student, you was a college student, you was I don't know, whatever else. But when it came down to that, I was always lucky enough to build that rapport with y'all and for y'all to respond to me and give me proper advice. How important is that for you though? Like being on the other side, being a teacher, like having students, like how important is that for you to extend yourself further than just teaching what the curriculum is?
Well, if I had to just teach to the curriculum, I probably wouldn't do it. My greatest thing I like about the job and what keeps me coming in every day is the fact that I like building relationships with my students, and not just the material I'm teaching or whatever. One of my college professors told me, he said, if you care, like if that's all you do is care, like you're going to be at least an okay teacher, because the students will see that and all of that. And that's just what I want to have. I want to come in and hopefully show that, I care, and it's what it is. It's the most important thing to me is to build relationships, because then I think my teaching comes after that. I don't always feel like I'm the greatest teacher, but I come in and I try and I work hard, and then I think some of it comes across because there's a lot of mutual respect there from the students because they know I do care.
Yeah, and like being one of your former students, I definitely can attest to that wholeheartedly. And we've had experiences like outside the classroom too. Like we went to FBLA, we was able to do a lot of amazing things that added to our life. Like when I went to FBLA, for instance, which I wasn't even initially going to do at all, but you definitely pushed at least my class to really go for it and see what we could get out of it, because it was an amazing opportunity to not only advance ourselves, but to meet new people and just have a different experience, travel to different cities and states and things like that, just to get a full experience of something new than whatever, whatever class we was in that day. So for that, that was like one of those things that I definitely cherish, and still to this day, I talk to some of my former classmates about like our FBLA trips and just some of the moments we had, and how we would love to go and like just do it again if we could, like so I definitely can say that about you for sure. Like you definitely push the envelope as far as getting the most out of your classes, and allowing us the opportunity to get more out of our experiences as a student.
Yeah, and that's where a lot of growth is going to come from, I believe, as a teacher, is those experiences. Most of us go through high school, and at least for myself and like several people I've talked to, they don't remember a lot what you did in the specific classes, but like experiences that you talked about and you said you talk about, like, and you're going to continue to talk about when you see those people you went to Hershey with and did the FBLA competition, you're going to talk about that. You're not going to talk about, the quadratic formula and, what you learned in biology and, mitosis and all that stuff. You're not going to, like, who talks about that? You talk about those experiences you have and those relationships that you built, because those relationships are going to lead into, some other stuff that you're going to come across down the line. And I think those are the real learning opportunities. So.
Yeah, I mean, like, and like, again, for me, like, I think I pretty much got the most out of like my high school experience for the most part. Like, just, like I hung out with people. I talked to a bunch of people. I played sports for a little bit. What else I did? I don't know. I went to FBLA. I don't know. Like, I feel like I did a lot. So like for me, the whole idea of experiences carry on, and you remember the experiences. I would suggest to anybody, like whether it's high school, college, or whatever, to allow yourself to have these experiences. Like, don't be too cool to go talk to this person, or be cool with that person, or go play that sport, or go act in drama club, or like whatever the case may be. Like, I did everything.
but it's just like what you're saying. Like, you weren't going to go to FBLA, but it's still one of that you talk about, because like I pushed you, and like I try to do it every year with whatever group of kids that I'm teaching business, is join this. You'll want to go here and you'll have good experiences, whatever, and that's just what it is. And I continue to try to do that for students who are like you and are like, they're going to enjoy it, but like, I don't know, I'm not going to go, I don't think I should go, and then something sparks, and be like, yeah, I'm going. So
yeah, because like even with that, like a lot of us, not just me, like a lot of us ain't want to go, because one, we ain't know what the hell it was at first, and two, we was like, damn, it's still school, like we still got to do stuff for school, like nobody like to meet at school anyway. So like, you trying to make me do more stuff for school? No, I'm not doing it. but once we like got the experience and we got to Hershey, and like we like I don't know, like we really just became like, this probably sounds cliche, but like we really became a family like during those experiences. Like of course, like we like every day, we all with the same people in class and everything, but being able to carry that same type of energy outside of the classroom and around a bunch of other people who who always together, and we was able to stand out and make it fun and allow ourselves to have not only like experiences together, but have our own individual experiences that we could just lean back on and say, damn, like I really did this. Like all of those things encompassed together was like amazing. And I can't stress enough like how important that was for me to do that, going out and being around all these amazing people who think a little different than what I would used to see, or people who come from different backgrounds and are from different cities and states, and seeing how they move, how they talk, how they walk, like all that type of stuff was like super, super duper important to me. And it still lingers with me to this day. I'm gonna let you talk on that.
Oh, about those experiences.
Yeah, I mean, you were there. Like you had your own experiences. I'm sure that you did get a chance to speak on and talk about.
Man, it's fun. Like, it's fun just watching everybody have fun. Like, and I try to get involved. I try, going out and playing basketball, and that stuff. And of course, I love running up and down the floor. But then, like, having some experiences of being able to sit around and play cards with, like, students that I usually just like, hey, you got to do this assignment. You got to do this assignment, hey, or we have little conversations here and there, but to have those fun experiences, and then really just to kind of see everybody come together, like you said, like a family, man, there's a difference. To me, there's a difference on how you guys as students got along the day before we went to Hershey to the day after we came back. It was all of a sudden like everybody's super cool with each other. And I know when you went, we had 25, 30 of us go.
Yeah.
Everybody's talking, they're friends. Like you weren't friends at all before. You never spoke to that before. And you might not even spoke to him that much at Hershey. But like, it was like, just because you went and just because you saw somebody in a different light, like it turns things around because, you know, I don't know, I feel like a lot of us, and I was thinking this the other day, like, I feel like I have to be a certain way when you live in the city. Like when I lived in the country, I can kind of be free Mike and all this stuff, but you live in the city and you got to have a certain persona about you that like, I can't just be like whatever. I gotta be like focused and on my business or whatever, because, and then, you know, watching my back and stuff like that. But, you know, because if you don't, somebody's going to be there.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Like, so that like breaks down some walls after those, like you had those good experiences and like you see people different. Even I saw people different, you know, as students and being like, oh man, like I didn't really want that person to come, but they came and like, hey, they're actually, they're normal. it was pretty cool, you know, student, you know, whatever. And like, I didn't know that before. And so there's those experiences too. And so, but again, I love doing that. It's my favorite time of the year school-wise is that trip to Hershey because of usually what happens. So.
Do y'all still do that or?
Yeah, we just went about a month and a half ago. It was the shortest, it was the smallest group I ever took. We took 10 and like it was a bunch of kind of random students, but it was mostly seniors. I wanted to give the seniors the experience to go do this. We didn't have, we have to fundraise every year for it. We didn't have a lot of fundraising this year. You know, COVID pretty much slowed down, but it was a great experience again. And it was one of those years where I think the 10 students that went, they all really bonded with each other and really come back. And I've seen it. I've seen it now where those students are now talking where I never seen them really talk before, you know? So yeah.
No, because I know for our class, like, I mean, I'm just going to say it, you know, we the best class of all time. But, but like for our class, like we was like we had like, I don't even know how to explain it. Like everybody was like really personable. Like everybody had like their own unique personality. You know, like I'm pretty sure some classes like you probably had, or like even classes I was in, like, you know, some people just, you know, be sitting there, they just do their work, no nobody really talk and nothing like that. That was never business tech for us. Like
No.
it was always something like out of the ordinary going on, like whether we was just, you know, having a complete basketball argument for an hour and a half or, you know, we was like we would like, you know, play games or whatever, like depending on like whatever we was learning. Like we would play like what was it when you gave us the whiteboards and we were right on the whiteboard. Yeah, we played Jeopardy.
Game,
yeah. Like the Jeopardy games was always super competitive. Like
yeah.
You know, like we would watch Shark Tank, and Shark Tank was, you know, like was super fun. That's something that everybody from my class remembers. I don't know if you still do Shark Tank, but
yeah, still do it. Yep.
But yeah, like we all remember that. You know, like we still talk about that whenever we talk about business tech. You know, so it was always like something interesting happening in our class. So for us to you know, just be in class with each other every day, and you know, you becoming more comfortable as a teacher, from what I could see, like you became more comfortable as a teacher. You know, like teaching the curriculum, but also like being cool with like your class, like everything. It just made it a fun experience. And that was like, for me, I'm like, I don't even care about my other classes. I want to go to business tech. And he was my advisor too, so I seen you all the time.
Yeah. Speaking of interesting things, you didn't bring up this one.
Oh
where
God.
The internship. We're watching the internship. And you know, it was a movie Friday, you know, as we called it.
Just to add a disclaimer though, for it was a teachable movie. It was a teachable movie for sure, and it had something to do with what we was learning that day. But it just was a movie Friday though. So
it was the fact that the assistant principal walked in during the strip club scene. Like the absolute worst
scene.
The only part of I felt like the movie was highly inappropriate. She walks in there, but right after it, there's a great teachable moment.
Yep.
We got off and I paused it right after that. And I have to say, Nick, you hardly ever participated before. Participated like so much, me trying to make up and trying to kind of finagle around that we were just watching the movie.
We were though. Like we really were just watching the movie though. It just so happened.
We were, but
she walked in at the worst scene in the movie.
But I didn't want it to look like we were just watching the movie. Like we had to watch it. We had discussions somehow.
No, I mean we did have a discussion, as far as like the whole premise of the internship itself and the teachable moments that came with it.
I think more than anybody else, like I could still you participating like a lot. Like you were answering like all the questions. Like it was like you were the only one that got it, that like the assistant principal's in here. We got to have like Gardner's back, whatever, and you did there. I think I'll forever be grateful for you for that, because you tried. I don't think anything would have happened anyway. I mean, I did get suspended for that, but like nothing really ever fully happened. Yeah. But
No, well, I mean, because like I was cognizant enough that to know that okay, this looks bad, like because like generally like when like what happens, like when situations like that happen, it is always it's not what it looks like, and it literally is not what it looks like. Like we were watching a movie that had something to do with what our class is about. It was literally business technology. They were the intern in Google, right?
Yeah.
Business technology, right?
I mean, exactly.
Right, and like she literally walks in at the worst scene. So I knew, like seeing it happen, like seeing it unfold the way it was unfolding. I'm like this could be bad. But I knew we was gonna talk about it anyway. It just happened to come 30 minutes before we were supposed to. So I was already ready to like have those conversations and answer those questions. But I just knew it was like, oh man, like let me help my guy out real quick, because I don't really think nobody else kind of like knew like, oh, like damn, this look a little bad. But I knew from the start, so I'm like, let me help my guy Gardner out real quick.
Yeah, I think some people knew, but I think you more than anybody else was like, we gotta bail.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So.
Yeah, like that's what I mean though. Like moments like that though, that like those are just things that you could just recall and be like, yo, like that's really my guy, man. Like I really had dope experiences, like memorable experience. Cause you can't say like, damn, like I had to bail my teacher out real quick, like in the middle of a regular movie Friday where the assistant principal walk in while they stripped. So yeah, man, I got your back always. You my guy.
Of course.
Yeah, but yeah, I just definitely wanted to just let you know how important it was for me to have you on the HolloTalk podcast, because not only is it for entertainment, and it's for people to gain knowledge from the conversations I have with people, but it's also like for me personally, it's like a time capsule, if you will, to have moments where I share these experiences, I share these conversations with people who I generally would share these conversations with anyway, but it's just recorded, and I can always go back to it and say, at this moment in time or at some moment in time, this is the relationship I had with this person, and this is how it made me feel. This is how I was feeling at that moment. This is how they was feeling at that moment. And like I said, just for me personally, it's important for me to do that because it means so much to me. And I hope for people who listening and the guests that are on too feel that same way at some point or with certain episodes that they could resonate with.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's definitely a pleasure to be on and to be a part of, your journey, so that started back when, I was your teacher,
Mm-hmm.
and continues today. So it's definitely a pleasure that you have said some of the things that you've said to me, not only here, on the podcast, but when you've sent me a text message here and there, whatever, like that resonates with me also, so
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, and it's all about just creating experiences, creating memories and moments with the people that mean the most to you. And from me to you, like you played a very, very integral part in my growth and development in my life in general. Like just coming to just sit down and talk to you about different things. Or like we argue about Kobe and Jordan all the time, but like we had the moment when Kobe passed away. I had came up and visited you, and we had did the thing that I had seen somebody else do it, but I thought it was cool for me and you to do it since we argue about Kobe and Jordan all the time. But we had wrote down like I think it was either like our biggest fear or like our 3 biggest fears or whatever. And like me, you, and whoever was in your class at that time when I came and visited you, we wrote on the paper, and the whole thing was to ball up the paper and shoot it in the trash can and say Kobe, like how you do when you shoot something in the bed in the trash can. So like just that's what I mean, like stuff like that is just like yeah, man. I wish everybody could like have these experiences with people and allow themselves to be open enough to do that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but yeah, man, I ain't want to keep you too long though. I know you got a role, and I just wanted to talk to you for a little bit and just let you know that I appreciate you. I love you, man. I thank you so much for being a part of my journey. Even though you made me run the 400-meter in track, and I'm a sprinter. I'll never forgive you for that one. But
so everybody that comes on here, they know. Ask your next guest if they think the 400 is a sprint race or a long distance race. As a sprinter, you can run the 400.
Nope.
You can run the 400. You just don't like to run the 400. It's like you could talk trash about like not running the 400. It's kind of like you talking trash that you actually beat me at any point in your life, because that would never happen. It would never happen. I'm going to be 75 years old. You're going to be like 55, and like you still can't beat me. I'm going to be in a wheelchair, like just shooting buckets. You'll hear.
You know what? We gonna settle this on the court. I'm not saying nothing else about it. All right. So the people listening, y'all heard it here first. I'm throwing out an open challenge to Mike Gardner, one-on-one basketball game, wherever, whenever. Just make sure you got some shorts and some sneakers, because
it's gonna be Mike versus Kobe, and Mike always wins.
No. This is not that. This is Nick versus Mike Gardner.
No, here's the bet, Nick. Here's the bet.
What's the bet?
I win. You have to say Mike is better than Kobe. If you win, I say Kobe is better than Mike.
I will gladly shake on that right now. I will gladly shake on that. You don't stand.
It's gonna be easy. At least we're finally gonna put this argument to bed.
You stand no chance. I'm telling you, no chance. No chance.
You said you have no chance?
No, you
have no chance. I got it. Okay. All right, I got it.
You have no chance. You know what? You know what?
You even tried to get serious because you put your hat backwards.
I did. I didn't think you was gonna notice that.
That's not gonna change nothing. That ain't gonna change it. Whether you got your hat on frontwards, backwards, off, sideways, you're still losing.
Like I said, I'm gonna let my game do the talking. All right, I'm gonna let my game do all the talking. I ain't gonna trash talk you. I might not even talk to you. Period. When we get on the court, like
I'm gonna trash talk you before, during, and after, because I'm winning. So that's all that matters.
You know what? See, I tried to be nice. I said all these wonderful, great things about you for a cool 30 minutes. A cool 30 minutes. And here you go, bringing it back down. No, but yeah, I truly thank you though, and even with our banter, I love it. It made my high school experience one of the greatest high school experiences anyone could ever have. So shouts out to you for that, for real, and just you being an all around good dude, man.
You yourself, man. Thank you for being who you are, and what you've become. So.
Yeah, well, now you gotta give yourself a little bit of credit for that too, because some of that came from you, for sure. So last thing. Yeah, thank you to you, Mr. Gardner. But this is the last thing, and I promise I'm gonna get you out of here. So this is customary to the HolloTalk podcast. I want to ask you for 3 gems that you can give to the people to take away from this conversation to apply to their everyday life. 3 gems.
I would say experiences, growth, and just being you.
All right. Well, y'all heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all heard from the legendary Mike Gardner. I appreciate you for coming on and talking to me for a little bit. I would love to have you come back on and we can really, really get in depth when you got some more time to talk to me. But I thoroughly enjoyed this conversation. I hope you did as well. And I definitely hope that the HolloTalk podcast listeners and supporters will as well when they get a chance to hear it.
Yes. Thank you very much. It was a pleasure to be on.
All right. Well, again, I want to say thank you to the HolloTalk podcast listeners, supporters for supporting us through and through. Mr. Gardner, I want to say thank you for everything, not just this, but for all of our experiences. I appreciate you. Love you, man. And I wish you all the best of luck. And I will definitely be in touch with you very soon.
Thank you.
Peace.